Inside Sing Sing Correctional Facility, secrets of New York's infamous prison. The walls of Sing Sing Correctional Facility have witnessed over a century of blood, violence, and untold stories of survival. From the electric chair to riots and legends, this prison has been the backdrop to America's darkest prison tales. But what is it really like behind its high stone walls? Join us as we uncover the haunting reality of life inside Sing Sing, a prison that's far more than just a place of punishment. The birth of Sing Sing, a legacy of power and punishment. The Sing Sing Correctional Facility was established in 1826, a full 7 years before New York became a state. Located in Ossining, New York, it's one of the oldest and most notorious prisons in the United States. The story begins not just with its construction, but with the ideals of punishment and reform that were at its very core. The prison was built on the banks of the Hudson River, and it became the model for correctional facilities across the nation, a place designed to enforce the harshest punishment. Sing Sing wasn't built just for confinement. It was built for punishment. Its original design, influenced by the era's ideals of reform through suffering, was cruel by today's standards. The famous stone walls weren't just to keep people in. They were meant to break the human spirit. Those incarcerated here weren't expected to be treated as human beings, but rather as a warning to others. The prison was originally intended to rehabilitate prisoners using the Auburn system, where inmates worked together during the day but remained in solitary confinement at night. However, this system soon proved to be more about control than correction. The isolation and harsh conditions led to riots, escapes, and eventually the building of one of the most feared prison systems in America. The rise of the elect. Rick Chair. By 1890, Sing Sing became the site of America's most infamous form of execution, the electric chair. The first prisoner to meet their fate in this brutal way was William Kemmler, a man convicted of murder. The electric chair became a symbol of finality and the ultimate punishment, and it's no surprise that Sing Sing was chosen for its early trials. The execution room became a dark spectacle for all of New York, and the sound of the chair's switch became the sound of final justice for the state. The electric chair was supposed to be quick and merciful, but it wasn't. As William Kemmler was strapped to the chair, the first electric shock failed to kill him. The second shock burned his flesh. It was a moment that shook not only the prison system, but the entire nation. The electric chair, which had been sold as a humane form of execution, became a symbol of grotesque failure. The electric chair at Sing Sing became notorious. Over the years, the prison executed over 600 inmates using this method. Each execution was publicized, drawing in spectators and fueling the mythos of Sing Sing as a place where punishment was swift and severe. The electric chair became both a tool of justice and a tool of fear. Sing Sing's darker decades, the 20th century. As the years passed, Sing Sing's reputation for being a brutal and inhumane facility only grew. The prison witnessed numerous riots, escapes, and gang wars, but it was the 20th century that truly cemented Sing Sing's status as a place of violence and unrest. In the 1930s, prison conditions deteriorated further. The Great Depression had left its mark on the American prison system, and Sing Sing was no exception. Overcrowding, underfunding, and poor living conditions pushed the inmates to the edge. Sing Sing became the site of countless violent uprisings, and the prison staff became increasingly wary of their charges. The worst of the worst. Infamous inmates, Sing Sing was home to some of the most dangerous men in America's history. It housed serial killers, mobsters, and dangerous gang leaders. Notable inmates include Sonny Liston, the heavyweight boxing champion, and Richard the Iceman Kuklinski, one of the most notorious contract killers in U.S. history. Sing Sing's reputation for housing high-profile criminals only reinforced its place as one of the country's most feared prisons. For these men, the prison walls were more than just a cage. They were a last refuge from a world that feared their violence. But these men weren't just incarcerated. They became legends in their own right. Some inmates came to be known for the sheer violence they represented. Others, like Liston and Kuklinski, earned fame for their dark personalities. But all shared one thing: the name Sing Sing, a name synonymous with fear, finality, and defiance. The 1970s, riots and the birth of reform. The 1970s marked a pivotal moment for Sing Sing. The prison riots of the 1970s weren't unique to Sing Sing, but the facility's violent history made it one of the flashpoints for unrest. Prisoners across the country were fighting for better conditions, and Sing Sing was no exception. At the same time, the civil rights movement reached into the prison walls, and voices from inside were raised. Not just about violence, but also about reform. Sing Sing was forced to confront its reputation and began implementing reform programs, some successful, some controversial. It was during these riots that the real question emerged: could a place like Sing Sing ever truly reform itself? The violence that defined Sing Sing in the 20th century was the same violence that inspired change. Prison reform wasn't just an idea anymore. It became a matter of survival. Sing Sing, today, life behind the walls. In recent years, Sing Sing has shifted focus, trying to blend security with rehabilitation. It remains one of the most well-known prisons in America, but now there is a focus on inmate programs, education, and reducing the violence. There are now college programs inside Sing Sing and inmate-run businesses. However, the history still lingers in the walls, and the shadow of its past continues to hang over those who enter. Sing Sing's story is one of violence, redemption, and contradiction. From its brutal origins to its efforts at rehabilitation, it has always been at the crossroads of punishment and change. The question remains: can a prison built on fear ever truly change? And if it does, what does that mean for the future of incarceration in America? Redefining the legacy. Rehabilitation and reform. Sing Sing isn't just a place of punishment anymore. It's a place of transformation. For decades, this fortress was known for its violence, its executions, and its iron grip on human lives. But now, its walls are quietly becoming the backdrop for something different. The prison system, like the men within it, is evolving. And Sing Sing, for all its dark history, has become a proving ground for what rehabilitation could look like in the future, the path to rehabilitation. For many, the idea of rehabilitation inside a prison like Sing Sing seemed impossible. How do you reform a place that's been synonymous with death, despair, and destruction? Yet over the past few decades, progressive prison programs have slowly begun to take root. The Prison University Project is one of the most notable efforts to bring education into the cell blocks. Founded in the early 2000s, this initiative allows inmates to take college-level courses, culminating in a college degree. It has proven successful, with several former inmates going on to earn bachelor's degrees while serving long sentences. Through Partnerships for Success, inmates are also able to access job training and professional certification programs. For example, a program that focuses on workforce readiness teaches inmates to learn coding, carpentry, and other trade skills to help them reintegrate into society once released. In many ways, these programs offer a stark contrast to the prison's early legacy of violence and isolation. They are attempts to change the fate of inmates who for decades were written off as irredeemable. For many inmates, these opportunities don't just offer a chance at freedom, they offer something much deeper, a chance at dignity. The inmates who found purpose. But transformation at Sing Sing isn't just academic, it's also personal. Over the years, inmates have become mentors to each other, sharing lessons of survival, redemption, and hope. One of the most remarkable aspects of Sing Sing's evolution is its restorative justice programs, which allow inmates to take part in healing circles. These circles allow them to address their past wrongs and work through the trauma they caused, not just to their victims, but also to themselves. Inmates like Rafael Barrero, who spent over 15 years incarcerated at Sing Sing, have become symbols of the prison's potential for change. After earning a degree in sociology, Barrero began to mentor younger inmates, teaching them to take responsibility for their actions and to look for hope, even in the darkest of places. Raphael's story, like so many others, challenges the stereotype of prison owners as irredeemable. It shows that even in places designed to dehumanize, there is the possibility of rebuilding lives, brick by brick. The modern challenge: safety and security. While the focus has shifted toward rehabilitation, Sing Sing's inherent danger remains. Despite its reputation for reform, the reality of life behind these walls is still shaped by violence and rivalry. The rise of gang affiliations inside Sing Sing continues to be a major challenge. Groups like the Latin Kings, the Bloods, and the Aryan Brotherhood still have strong presences within the facility. These organizations continue to wield power over much of the prison's daily activities. Their influence remains a barrier to complete reform, and a constant reminder of the harsh undercurrents that run beneath the surface of even the most progressive efforts. Former inmate interview, archival audio. You can have all the college degrees you want, but the second you step out of line, it's a different game. If the gangs want something, it happens, regardless of the rules. In addition to gang violence, mental health continues to be a pressing issue. Many of the men who enter Sing Sing suffer from untreated psychological issues stemming from trauma, addiction, and past abuse. Though there is now greater awareness of these challenges, the resources available are often stretched thin. The voice of the inmates, ear hustle. One of the most surprising developments at Sing Sing has been the creation of the Ear Hustle podcast. Ear Hustle was created by inmates inside the prison, offering a raw, first-person perspective of what it's like to live inside Sing Sing. The podcast has gained national attention for its honesty, humor, and emotional depth. Through this project, inmates have become storytellers, sharing their lives with the world, giving listeners an intimate window into the struggles and triumphs behind bars. It's a powerful example of the human spirit refusing to be silenced, even in the toughest of circumstances. A shifting paradigm: can rehabilitation succeed? Sing Sing's story is one of transformation, but that transformation is not without its contradictions. Despite impressive strides in rehabilitation, Sing Sing remains a supermax prison, with its fair share of dangers and setbacks. The success of rehabilitation programs often depends on the willingness of inmates to participate, and sometimes that willingness isn't there. The question is, can Sing Sing evolve beyond its history of violence and execution? Can it truly become a model for reform and rehabilitation? For some, Sing Sing will always be the site of the electric chair, where lives were ended in a flash of electricity. For others, it will remain a place of human endurance, where men are pushed to the edge but find a way to rise, rebuild, and become more than what they were. The future of Sing Sing. As Sing Sing continues to evolve, it stands as a symbol of the possibility of redemption, but also a reminder of how far prison systems have to go. It is a place of complex contradictions: punishment and reform, violence and hope, humanity and dehumanization. Sing Sing's legacy may be stained by decades of bloodshed and brutality, but it is also a place of renewal, where stories of change, survival, and struggle still unfold behind its prison walls. Camera pulls back from Sing Sing's towering walls, the prison looming against the sunset, casting a long shadow over the river. Because even in a place like Sing Sing, where the past weighs heavy, there is always the potential for a new beginning.